understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, December 8th, 2018. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sara, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we've got 6 episodes for you this week. Don't get used to it because the mid-season break is fast approaching, but for this week, we've got half a dozen bits of goodness for you.
Yup. We're almost at that winter break. It's December now. You know, the holiday preparations are starting to settle in. You know, trying to find all those gifts and stuff like that.
I was gonna say preparations is such a bloodless word. I think you mean panic and anarchy and fretting and
trying to figure out how many people you need to ask your mom to bake cookies for. You know, all the
And do you not yourself bake? Come on.
Well, I helped when I was a kid, and
oh, baking is for children.
Yes.
And moms.
Yes. Although there is kind of a little bit of a squabble between my sister and I over who's going to inherit my mother's cookies recipes.
Does your sister bake? Because if so, I'm Team Irene.
She does. My mother has suggested that she could just, copy, make an extra copy so that both of us can have them. But I just think that ruins all the fun.
Definitely create a family feud over this. That sounds smart and healthy.
Yes. That's definitely the healthy thing. So yeah. There's office parties and all of that stuff, starting to pop up. And then those last minutes, I should get together with that person. And then realizing like in the next 20 days, that's not going to happen.
I've straight up started telling people, it's going to have to be after the holidays. You want to get together? Great. After the holidays. Nice.
Yeah.
I know my limits.
I think I'm going to have to tell, Bill and Bob one day, like, let's just go to dinner just to hang out. Since I'm not on Wicked Theory anymore, I don't get to hang out with them as much as I'd like to. So I might just take them out to dinner one night and then just, surprise them with presents and then have them get embarrassed that they didn't get me anything.
I think you've just revealed your secret evil plan.
Yes. Well, no,
to the public.
No. This is the passive aggressive way of me telling Bill that I'm going to do this. That way he's not blindsided. And
alternatively, this is a chance to check if Bill actually listens or if he's just like, oh yeah, great show this week, guys. Great show this week. Yeah. No, it was really strong work.
I'm pretty sure he listens to at least the first 5 minutes. And I'm probably going to get an FU text from him sometime around middle of the afternoon tomorrow. Which is fine. That's great. So yeah. We got some episodes to go through. You wanna jump right in?
I think we probably should do that because you know what? I have to give a final exam today, a Saturday. Ooh. So we gotta wrap this up so I can go bedevil some children on a weekend.
Yes, Sara needs to be evil, so we need to get through this.
It takes time to get my cape on right, to get my mustache twirling just so. Like, it takes prep, so let's do this.
I'd love to walk into a final and just have you sitting at your desk with the top hat and the black cape and the mustache.
Hello, children.
And even just at the front of right above the whiteboard is just a trail of railroad tracks.
That'll take more prep than I can do this year, but I'll see what I can do next time.
All right. So let's start in earnest. We begin with the first episode of the week, which happens to be Supergirl. Season 4, Episode 8, Bunker Hill. Alex was under fire from President Baker to find Agent Liberty and end the public relations nightmare his movement was causing. Manchester Black took Ben and Lydia Lockwood hostage in their own home. Brainy and Kara discovered Nia's nightmares may help lead them to Agent Liberty. Last minute reveal: on a war-torn and devastated Earth 90, the Monitor told the Flash from 1990 that he had failed this Earth and sent him running.
Okay, so I have some thoughts about the Flash 90 thing, which we probably need to save for the crossover. But if you watch the show in the 90s, does that mean that everything you knew and loved in that show is now dead?
I think so.
Really dark. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not watch the Flash 90 show. It's probably something I should get caught up on when we have some downtime. But maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't fall in love with anybody because they apparently have all been destroyed. So,
yeah. No, you should watch it. It's a fun show. It's definitely it's got a little bit of a campy vibe. It feels very. That Danny Elfman score, it feels very like 89, Batman 89, very Tim Burton kind of. And I'm just interested to see like how that show would have evolved. And it's definitely, you could see the financial restraints that they were under, where it's like they have all of the same ideas that the modern Flash does. But, it's the kind of thing where like he can vibe through a wall once because they can only afford that effect once. And it's those kinds of things. But yeah, that was, and bit of a spoiler, we get to see the exact same ending scene 3 times this week. And going over that with a fine-tooth comb, trying to figure out.
Well, and I will say, I recap Supergirl for EW.com, so, check it out. But I did message Ed, not in a panic, but with some urgency to say, hey, I'm working on this recap. Could you tell me who all those people were? Could you please? And so we got on the horn and walked through it like the Zapruder film. Okay, now if you look to the left, upper left, you'll see, and then down here. So, thank you, Ed. I appreciate that.
That was fun. Yeah. All those breakdowns, people trying to figure out which version of the Green Arrow is that. Is that the Green Arrow from Smallville? I saw some people thinking that, or, like what's the deal there? And, it's just like, oh, okay, we're getting 90s flashback and we're getting the Monitor, and like, oh my God. So
there were some Hawk people down and I did not mourn for them.
Yeah, there were 2 Hawk helmets lying around, and I felt bad.
Anyway, do you want to talk about Supergirl?
Yeah, let's talk about Supergirl.
I guess. But obviously before we leave that, that's setting up for the crossover next week. So, since it aired on Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow, all 3, hopefully none of the viewers will be confused. Although viewers who watch all 3 were a little confused. Didn't I see this last night? So you can't win. You can't win no matter what you do. But Supergirl, hey, this was a return to the episodes I've really been enjoying this season. Last week I thought was a little weaker. This one, what a great mix of funny and scary and action and Supergirl doing the damn thing at the end and being a hero, and I loved it. And again, Ben is terrifying. Again.
Yeah. To see Ben and Manchester go up against it, and you see like these 2 guys are really, really wrong on both counts. They're on this 2 sides of an issue, and they're both wrong, and they both go about it in the wrong way, and it's to kind of see like this clash is just going to make everything worse.
And yet the show did this thing again where when Manchester says these people are literally committing genocide, you're gonna let them do, like, they're trying to wipe out aliens, are you gonna stand with me and stop this? It's, you see where he's coming from. I'm not saying Manchester's methods are right, but you can kind of understand the roots of his argument. Just like with Ben, you know, his family suffered and people have suffered under the big extraterrestrial battles that have happened, so you can see where Ben's arguments come from too. But again, you cannot approve of his methods. But this show has been shockingly successful at making slightly reasonable, that you can see where they're coming from, unlike some superhero shows where the bad guy is just like so over the top and all right, calm down. You see where they're coming from even if you don't love what they're doing. So again, I just defended murderers, didn't I?
Yeah, well, you know. Also we got to see Nia, we got to understand her powers, and like, so just go to sleep. Just go to sleep, take that nap, make sure you get that 8 hours. I know it must be tough, but we see that now it's, you know, it's helpful. Those visions, you know, saved lives.
We agree that that's the best superpower, right? Listen, I have to save the world. I have to nap.
Yes. Yeah. And we found out like the real reason. It's weird because like there's been this spark between her and Brainy, and now I wasn't sure, like, is Brainy into her, or does he just like recognize who she is and that and where she comes from, and that's what was getting him excited.
I don't know. I agree that confused the vibe for me as well. So I'll be curious how that keeps evolving. Also, you want to say anything about Nura?
Oh yeah.
Which is her, what Brainy called her?
Yeah, I'm guessing that he probably has a thing with Nora in the future, who's, you know, her descendant, and that's who he was getting confused with.
So yeah, I hope they don't drop that after the break, and that we can go back to that. Brainy was really funny this week. You know, watching the classics, including The Purge, and, you know, trying to be the cool guy, distracting Nia with crafts as Kara tried to do her. I did 23andMe and my name is Kara Liberty and I'm looking for my dad. Agent. Some of the tone felt a little strange to me until I remembered who directed it, and that was Kevin Smith.
That's right. Yes.
The Wile E. Coyote accessory spinning in the air after Kara ran off, I didn't expect that. I loved it. It was ridiculous. It shouldn't have made me as happy as it did, but it really did, and it was very Kevin Smith stylized.
Yeah. I thought I loved the tone. I thought Kevin Smith did a great job. You know, it's always fun to see him working. I thought this episode was well put together. I thought it advanced stuff, and now I was actually kind of surprised that Ben Lockwood's wife didn't know that he was Agent Liberty, and that this kind of
I expected her right away to be like, oh yeah, no, I know what my husband does. So I was a little surprised by that too. She came around at the end. Like, to his side, not to, you know.
yeah, and that was like, it's weird because that's like the real last moment, is that at the end she's out there protesting and on his side, before we got that epilogue, and
while Kara angrily hovers overhead.
Yeah.
So I thought great acting this week. Kara at the end, as she is refusing to give up her identity and is so furious, and you can tell she's trying to keep herself in check and how hard it is. I thought that was a great bit of acting for her. And as always, Sam Witwer as Ben Lockwood, when you see him realize he can use that Bunker Hill analogy, and you just see it in his voice and in his face, you can hear the change that comes over Ben when he starts talking about winning the battle but losing the war. And I just, Sam Witwer is elevating the show hugely this season. So,
yeah.
Oh, Ed, can I quickly talk about the the journalism angle for just a second. I swear it'll be quick. All right. Supergirl has this weird romanticized notion of reporters putting themselves in danger as how you do reporting. If you're not getting kidnapped, you're not doing it right. No. I worked as a reporter. I have many friends who have and still do work as reporters. To my knowledge, none of them have been kidnapped, but they have told very important stories about, civic government and challenges and successes in their communities. Getting kidnapped is not a necessary component of reporting, nor is putting yourself in danger with a hood to be taken to meet secret leaders, James. So I understand that they're trying to bulk up the importance of a free press, and I love that. That's great. It's just weird to say that you have to do it by putting yourself in danger when the metric for danger for journalists in America actually has increased in recent years. So it's a strange thing, but great, whatever. Press, good, yay. And I also super loved the framing at the end. This is an actual communication theory. Bear with me, I'll be fast. That talks about framing is how media choose words and pictures to not just tell you what is the story, but to make you think about certain attributes of the story. So in Catco, it's terrorist Ben Lockwood arrested, and it's a picture of him, under arrest. And then in what the president is reading, it's human rights activist Ben with a smiling, happy, candid shot. And that terrorist versus human rights activist, mugshot versus candid shot, that's a huge arena of study for mass comm scholars. And it makes a big difference in how people perceive him. Is he a human rights activist? Is he a terrorist? And what the media chooses can have an influence on how people think about it. So they have to be careful with their words. So anyway, okay, done. Wow. Lecture over.
Why can't he be both? Why?
Terrorist to some, human rights activist to others.
It's a floor wax. It's a dessert. It's both.
You got your peanut butter in my chocolate.
All right. Was any news for Supergirl this week?
So a little bit of crossover news. Melissa Benoist did an interview. She said she's excited to have scenes with another woman from the Arrowverse. A lot of times she's acting opposite Oliver or Barry, but she's going to get to act opposite Kate Kane this time, and that their personalities are going to clash a little bit because Kara is so sunny and optimistic, and Kate Kane apparently is not that.
Okay.
So that's going to be a fun dynamic. But yeah, she said she doesn't really get to act opposite the Sarah Lances and the Felicity Smokes and the Iris West. So she's excited with that. And then a little casting news. Jessica Perez has been cast as Pamela Ferrer, who is the villain Menagerie. Oh. So we're already looking ahead to after the mid-season break. We're going to see another baddie.
All right. Cool. Stuff to look forward to. I can't wait till next week. All right. But before that, we get to talk about Arrow. Season 7, Episode 8, Unmasked. In the future, William and Dinah tried finding out more about Felicity's plan from a cage fighter named Blackstar. In the present, Oliver began to worry about how Felicity had changed while he was in prison. Dinah pulled in Oliver and Renee for help investigating murders committed by someone posing as the new Green Arrow. Lila and Diggle tried following the money link between a painting of Dante and the Longbow Hunters. Last-minute reveal, on a war-torn and devastated Earth 90, the Monitor told The Flash from 1990 that he had failed this Earth and sent him running.
I applaud your copy and paste skills this week. Okay. Arrow and I are not speaking to each other currently.
Oh, yeah. I figured you. Yeah. A lot of people seem to be having that reaction. A lot of people seem to be watching this episode and going, "Oh, come on. Let
them be happy. Oliver just got out of prison. Let them be happy."
We just spent 7 episodes getting them back together. And now you're not so sure anymore? Come on.
Well, and I really had a problem with Oliver being like, "Felicity, you have a gun? Why do you have a gun?" Dude, somebody attacked her in her home. Her and your son. Of course she has a gun. She's an American, isn't she? Hello? So I thought, I don't want to be frustrated with Oliver. I don't want to be frustrated with Oliver, but what are you doing, baby? Of course she has a gun. And Felicity, you were never weak. You haven't changed that much.
Mm-hmm.
You've always been a strong-ass woman. Oh my God, this show. You say things now.
Yeah. Listen, it's almost, you wonder why Dinah Diggle didn't take Oliver aside before he said, "Hey, listen, Felicity's been kind of angry lately. Like,
she's been a little murdery.
Yeah,
she's been a little.
Just watch out, Maybe palm a blade when you go to bed. I don't know.
As you were doing in prison, so
Yeah, it's just like keep that habit. That's.
I was happy that Oliver was with a bow and arrow again. I mean, that was nice. That was the rewarding part of the episode, was that he got to suit up again, and I guess he's an auxiliary member of the police now. He's like a junior police. He's got his kid police badge or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, he's been deputized. I believe that's the technical term. It's fine. You don't want me acting outside of the police? I'm going to be part of the police.
Suck it.
It's almost like they're going to Mayor Polly going nanny nanny nana. But yeah, and her and him and Renee got to go after the not Green Arrow.
I said all along it was a woman. That's right. So that was a cool reveal. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the salmon ladder symmetry, the the kind of the not bait and switch, but the
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we got to see, and a theory that we've had over the last couple of weeks has been confirmed that it is Emiko Queen, the daughter of Robert Queen.
So I saw on the DC wikis that she's the daughter of Robert Queen and Shadow, but that is not going to be the case, because that would be creepy, right? Because Robert Queen was so much older than Shadow, and also he died before they got there. So.
Yeah. I mean, more so for the second reason, but yeah, probably.
But the first reason is a thing too.
Yes.
She was okay.
Yes. Yeah, and also she's older here than she was in the comics. In the comics, she's more like Damian Wayne's age. She's more like a 10 or 12-year-old. So but yeah, so Oliver has a sister who's out there. And it'll be interesting to see, kind of like what role she's gonna play, and like is she gonna draw the longbow hunters out? Are they gonna be like the main baddies? Is Diaz gonna be taking a back seat? A lot of questions that are coming out here. I'm interested to see how exactly Oliver discovers who she is and whether he believes her. Because
I mean, isn't he kind of used to surprise family member reveals? Oh, okay. Another one? Sure.
Yeah. And you're right. Who is her mother? That is also a very important question.
But no, I was pleased with that reveal. I'm looking forward to spending more time with her and seeing, you're right, how that family drama, that interpersonal drama will play out with her and Oliver and the people in his life, if he has anybody left in his life after he yells at everybody about protecting themselves and things. Damn it, Oliver. He caught that arrow in his hand with his bare hand in midair. That was awesome, but that's the only thing this week. Oliver. Do you want to talk about the future a little bit? Black Star?
Yeah, that's right. There were future scenes this week.
Yes. They all got matching tattoos like freshman sorority girls.
Yeah. I thought that I think it's also kind of like, okay, there's another character in here, but we didn't really learn anything.
Yeah.
I feel like this storyline is kind of spinning its tires a little bit. Where it's going through very slowly. Although was that kind of normal with the flashbacks? Yeah.
Oh yeah. The flashbacks were always the worst part. So other than, I thought the season 5 flashbacks to Russia, I enjoyed those.
Yeah.
But the island flashbacks, oh my god. I am disappointed. I really did think that Black Star / Maya, the Street Fighter, was going to turn out to be Olicity Child, because she looks so much like what you would think the two of them, if they had a grown daughter, would look like. But if she is, the backstory there has to be so unspeakably tragic if she doesn't know William, and something would have had to have happened, and that's just awful. So I don't want that anymore. So I don't know, what are they doing with these flash forwards? It's so depressing. It's so depressing. Ugh.
Yeah, and there's sort of a reveal at the end, trying to figure out, is Black Star still trying to carry out those plans? Is Oliver, is there a chance that Oliver might be alive? Like what's going on there?
And why do Lila and Diggle need Dragon's help?
Yeah. Who are they? Well, they're following the money, which is kind of weird, because isn't that where you start? Where you're supposed to start now? I thought that was...
Yes, you're always supposed to follow the money. That's how it goes. It's what you do.
I feel like they're treating it like an afterthought. And those scenes were very frustrated because they were way too cryptic, and they were playing the pronoun game a lot. Just we're gonna talk about someone without really talking about him, and just confuse everybody. All right, just what's going on?
Honestly, my mind blanked out the Diggle Lila scenes. I forgot that they...
Well, there were
until they showed up to talk to Diaz.
There were only two of them. It was...
Oh,
yeah. It was them talking about the painting in the beginning, and all of a sudden at the end, they show up at Diaz's. I'm sure there was probably another scene or two that they filmed that they just didn't have time to put in the episode.
They just had to leave in more of Oliver and Felicity fighting, and people at a gala being like, "Yay, Oliver is out," even though they didn't really super help.
Oh, what did you think of? Bro. Yeah, what did you think of the baddie for this episode, Max Fuller?
Oh, of course that dude was in a secret society. Of course he was. Oh my god, that was the least. I was like, "Yep, that tracks."
Yeah, I thought it was nice to see. Oh, this is the kind of people that Oliver grew up around.
Yeah, that was a good reminder. Yeah, you're right. That actually was kind of nice. Yeah, this show, think about the core competency from season 1 to today. It's quite an evolution.
Yeah, and also if he hadn't ended up on that island, could he have been like this guy?
Yes, he could have.
So I thought that was cool. I thought that was interesting. So yeah. Look, and of course we got the exact same coda at the end with I feel like because there might be a handful of listeners who just download us to talk about Arrow, who don't watch Supergirl or Flash or something, that we should probably talk about that a little bit in each part. Just to mention that, there were a lot of heroes. We got to see the Flash from the 90s, and the Monitor is destroyed their Earth and is coming for more.
And I guess most importantly for the Arrow conversation about this, the body on the ground in the Green Arrow costume is really, really green.
Yeah.
Would you call him the Emerald Archer? That's the kind of outfit you're picturing, because that was emerald.
Yeah, it's a bright green. I saw a lot of people online speculating that was the Green Arrow suit from Smallville. Which has not been confirmed.
I'll believe it when they get Justin Hartley back to play him.
Yeah. So, all right. Was there any news for Arrow?
Just an interview with Stephen Amell about the upcoming crossover, where he said he enjoyed being the Flash so much that this was one of the most fun things he's done while filming these shows, was get to be a different superhero for a time. So I think you said this during the Supergirl segment. Get here already, crossover. We've been waiting for you.
Yes. All right. So yeah, that's the news, and we're gonna move on. Next up, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 7, Hell No, Dolly. The Legends traveled back to 1856 New Orleans, hunting a serial killer that turned out to be a possessed doll. Mick was upset that Ava confiscated the magic diary that allowed him to have a girlfriend with 3 boobs. Constantine tried taking a detour to prevent the love of his life from having his soul dragged to hell. Mona got a really bad scrape on her knee and developed a crush on the Hawaiian Kope. Last minute reveal, after the shockwave of Constantine's actions changed time, Charlie got her shapeshifting powers back, and Zari turned into a cat.
All right, well, no surprise here. This delighted me to no end. What is this show doing this season to make it so good? I don't understand, but it's so good. Okay, but my first thing. They sewed trackers into Constantine's undergarments. Didn't we all kind of assume Constantine always goes commando? Like, this was the thing that didn't ring true in World for me. No way does Constantine wear briefs. That's not, no.
I mean, maybe not all the time, but just in terms of being sanitary, right?
Oh, I joke because Constantine's storyline was heartbreaking. Oh my god.
Yeah. This is the closest they've got to the Constantine of the comics, and what we saw on his TV show. Like the real thing about John Constantine that you need to understand is that he's a bastard. He's no good. And the thing is, like, even when he's doing the right thing, he has to find a way to screw somebody over. And the fact that the way he was going to stop Neron from taking over the earth and leading a coup into hell was by sacrificing the person he loves. Like, that's just pure John Constantine. That's like the most definite, like, the way he's going to save everybody is by sacrificing his best friend. Like, that's exactly a Constantine move.
But I would argue this week the person he screwed over was himself. I mean, like, the pain he was causing, it was short-term pain.
Oh yeah, it's all self-inflicted. It's all self-inflicted.
Yeah. He was hurting, and you could tell he was cutting his own heart out of his chest to go and break the love of his life's heart. And it was, oh man, I was there for it. I was there for every angsty time travel-y moment of Constantine breaking his own heart to save the man he loved. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Thank you, show.
Yeah. And Zari's trying to warn him the whole time, you cannot change time. These are fixed points. You cannot mess around with this stuff. And now it is going to have huge effects that we're going to have to deal with next episode. And
yeah, but cats, I mean, it brought more cats into the world, so can you really be upset about it?
Yeah, but I wanted Zari.
I mean, change Nate into a cat, okay, but give us back Zari.
Yeah. Speaking of Nate, I like that storyline with Mona. First off, that was weird. That whole thing was just weird.
I kind of ship it. Mona and the Wolfman. Yeah, I'm there for it.
And well, also just kind of like, it felt like Nate was trying to, spy to figure out for Gary. And it felt like that part of the storyline just kind of like drifted away and didn't go anywhere.
I wonder if maybe it'll pay off, because this really was a 2-parter, and we're going to see the denouement presumably next week. I wonder if that Gary thing is going to pay off next week.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know that for sure, but that they did set up Gary lurking around and crushing on her hard. But my question for you is, does Gary look like that in only a pair of jeans? I don't think so. I don't think he fills it out like the Wolfman. So good luck, Gary. I mean,
yeah,
that Wolfman is a man. And of course, as soon as she noticed something on his neck, we knew there was hinkiness going on with testing or whatever at the bureau. So that was inevitable, but still sad.
Yeah. Also, that jerk with the car who's like,
Yeah.
like Mona, you gotta stand up to it. Like, he should be paying your hospital bills for getting that knee checked out.
I hope that we will see some personal growth via this arc, and that she'll be able to say, "Not paying your damages, good sir. Here is $500 for the Band-Aid they put on me at the hospital.
Yeah.
You take care of that."
Yeah, I mean, like,
Band-Aids $500 at the hospital? $5,000? I don't know. I don't understand U.S. healthcare.
My brother used to work at an EMT, and the amount that he told me when he had to open an ice pack, it was kind of.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, what else is delightful? Mick, Rory this week, who walks in and is just like, "Evil doll, I'ma burn it." Doesn't even hesitate. I like that in a man, because, oh my God, Ray, don't go into the room of creepy dolls. Don't do it. Mick saying to Ava, when Ava says, "I assume your novels are sexist and derivative." "Oh, yes, they are." And then insulting snickerdoodles. Oh, God. Ray's mustache was terrible.
Yes. Now, I saw some speculation online. Could that have been an homage to Henry Cavill's mustache?
Oh, I didn't even think about that until right now. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it was.
Yeah. And yeah, and really quick, I do want to mention, we got a tweet from @River8878. "Constantine, what did you do? OMG, they told you to be good. OMG, the puppets." I agree with Sarah.
Yeah, that about covers it, honestly.
I agree with Sarah. The show makes me genuinely happy.
Aw, yeah.
Also, one of the thing that Ashley, who's @River8878, pointed out, she evidently takes notes while she listens to our podcast of questions she'd like to ask us. She put out something. "I would like you to know that I take notes while listening. Since I can't to your podcast at work, since I can't technically be on my phone, I can take notes and make it look like work. Haven't missed an episode yet, and going to try to email you guys soon." Well, thank you so much.
That she sent pictures of the note taking, and it was
Yes.
really nice.
Yes. Yeah. And I too, I never doodled. I usually just made lists. Like, that was just a thing I used to just do whenever I was bored in school.
Oh God, that's the most Ed O'Hare thing I've ever heard. Of course you made lists. Oh, God.
And yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, this brings me back to those days. So that's cool.
Well, and I'm a woman who likes stationery, pens, journals, nice clean paper that you can make your mark on, quite literally. So that made me real happy. Good work, Ashley.
Yes. So yeah, that was so that was Legends. Is there anything more that we need to talk about? New Orleans. Let's talk about New Orleans. And
sure. Oh yeah, I guess we didn't really talk about like the serial killer. Poor Marie Laveau getting pegged as the serial killer when Marie Laveau did not do that thing.
Yeah. We realized that she was Dez's like great grandma or something like that. I thought that was a cool connection. And yeah, that this turned into a possessed dummy movie.
The Professor Stein puppet.
Oh
no.
Man, I want to know who voiced that.
I was gonna say that was not Victor Garber, right? That's really too bad, because him voicing a killer puppet would have been A+ material.
Yeah. All right. Was there anything more on the episode you wanted to hit?
I mean, I could talk about this for another 3 hours, but no, probably in the interest of time.
Okay. All right. So, and any news for Legends this week?
No, other than just a reminder, it's not taking part in the crossover this upcoming week. It is going to continue the 2-parter though, because it looks like all hell has broken loose with the changing of the timeline.
All right. And next up is The Flash, season 5, episode 8, What's past is prologue. Barry and Nora traveled back to key dates in the Flash's history to gather items that could be merged into a weapon that could stop Cicada. Sherlock and Cisco tried to crack the language Nora used to write her journal. Last-minute reveal: on a war-torn and devastated Earth 90, the Monitor told the Flash from 1990 that he had failed this Earth and sent him running.
So I know that this was all about Barry and the Flash and the history with the villains, but could this not also have been called Caitlin's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad luck with boyfriends?
Oh, you mean Ronnie and yeah.
Well, and Jay, I mean, like the...
Oh, that's right.
She just... Yeah! Poor Caitlin. So here was my thought process when Nora says, "Oh, we need to go back in time to fix things. We can do it." And Barry says no. And I was like, good. Barry's learned that you can't go back in time. Barry says, "I can do it." It's like, no, Barry, have you learned nothing? We can do it. No, good. No, I can do it. Barry, God damn it.
Yeah, and the fact that they went and I was seeing online, Daniel Panabaker, who plays Caitlin, was pointing out that a lot of the stuff, especially from season 2, with the Jay Garrick with Zoom, was actual footage that they'd shot during season 2.
Really?
Was alternate takes and stuff like that. Yeah, so I thought they blended that in well. They blended all the interests, and the way that you slowly got to see that Eobard Thawne is more involved in this story than we realized at first.
This was a great episode for Tom Cavanaugh. I enjoyed watching him, and he directed this episode too, so that was kind of fun. But to see him go through all the different Welleses, and it was so funny. At one point, he was a Wells, and I was like, I don't know what Wells this is. I need to find my daughter. That's the Wells. Got it. Yeah. Thanks. I mean, they really did a nice job of reminding us of which Harry he was playing.
Yeah, and all of them reminded us, how much I'm not so into the Harry he's currently playing.
Yes. Did Sherlock look a little like Abraham Lincoln this week? It's just not. None of it's working visually.
Yeah.
Audio, none of it.
But that's okay. That's okay. We're figuring it out. We've
not every Wells can be a winner. It's okay.
Yeah. But we've got the Reverse Flash, which was like the big giant, reveal before the epilogue. So that Nora's working with him and kind of like, oh, we got to talk. I thought that was really cool. And this was really a kind of a Barry and Nora episode the whole week, the whole time.
I will say Nora running through the Speed Force she has a funny running style when she's like slow motion dramatically running. I feel like Grant Gustin has that down in a way that Jessica Kennedy does not. that amused me. Other things that amused me, when they went back to the Star Labs explosion, I was so startled to see that Star Labs used to have other employees. There were all these scientists hanging around a white coast, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They used to actually employ people other than Caitlin and Cisco.
Yeah. Which I'm still sure. Like, how is that place still open? How are they making money now?
I don't know.
Like, what's
the rent on that place has to be enormous. The electric bill alone. How are they? What is the financial model?
Yeah. It's none of this makes it, because like in the comics, it's still up and running, and it's a giant organization. That. It kind of, there's a lot more going on there. They have a full staff, and there's research projects going on constantly, but I don't know, but like now it's just basically empty and operates, the Flash kind of operates out of there, and no one seems to feel a need to investigate. Hey, what are you guys doing here?
Hey, you almost blew up the town last time. You good here? You doing okay? So we joke, but I thought this was a great episode. I loved revisiting the old villains. It reminded me of things I forgot when one of the Welleses reached out a hand to shake Cisco's hand. I forget which one. I was reminded that, oh yeah, he did kill Cisco in a timeline.
Yes.
But no, I mean, this was what was it, the 100th episode?
Yes, it was 100. Mm-hmm.
And this felt like a great way to celebrate that. A lot of flashbacks and reminders of things they've done in the past. And I thought this was a strong episode. It was fun to see the Thinker and Marlize, and to see, Grodd and King Shark, and you got to see Ronnie. And I don't know, it was a greatest hits, and it was done really well. And it didn't feel like a cheap clip show at all. They brought new nuances to things. I loved it.
Yeah.
The scene with Barry and Iris in the hallway that Nora sort of overhears was really lovely. I mean, this was a nice celebration of the show, I thought.
Yeah, and we got to see all those villains. We got to see Zoom and Savitar and and Reverse Flash. I thought the showdown between Thawne and Barry, just that talk where he realizes who Nora is, and I thought that scene was really cool. I thought it was a good setup for where we're going to go for the rest of the season.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Oh, is any news for Flash this week?
Just that they released an image of the redesign of Barry's suit that almost made the cut, and it's really different than what we ended up with this season for Barry's new suit. It's a lot more armored and kind of bulkier. Just a really, really different look. I usually have Flash suit blindness. I can't tell when they update them because they're all just red suits to me. But this one, I was like, oh yeah, that's really different.
Yeah, to me, it seemed a little bit more closer to Ezra Miller's suit from Justice League. Which is probably why they went in the other direction. It's more armored, whereas now it's much more streamlined and skin tight, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about that. But I don't know. Would have been interested to see if they went with this other option. Now, also, one other thing, the in case you skipped forward to the Flash, that coda at the end was the same, was also tagged on to Supergirl and Arrow. So this is kind of the third time that we're talking about that. But so 90s Flash is back, and the Monitors destroyed his Earth, and now he's running to save the rest of the multiverse.
And to be clear, that means that 90s Flash is Barry Allen 90s Flash, and this is not Jay Garrick Flash from the Flash TV show.
It's not Earth 3 Flash. Now we do have a tweet here from @Molly2910. It's her 3 wishes for Elseworlds, the crossover. Are you ready, Sarah? So yes. Number 1, Barry reaches for the suit and not the bow when Dig says suit up. Number 2, a version of Dig as Jon Stewart. And number 3, the Flash suit to split on screen by Oliver.
Because that ass cannot be contained by the suit. No, I get it. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I hope there's a little lightness with the crossover, that there's going to be some fun Freaky Friday, and I'm sure there will be. Last year's crossover was so dark, so good, but so dark. So I'm hoping this one, a lot of what I've seen is I mean, that coda at the end of these 3 episodes was real dark as well. So I'm hoping we can have a little more of that. And we've seen pictures online that have been leaked of all kinds of things that tell me that it is going to be a little more fun and light. But I'm sure they're going to balance everything. I hope. The stakes as well as the humor, but I'm excited. So this starts on, as a reminder to everybody, Sunday. We get the Flash episode. Monday it continues on Arrow, and then Tuesday Supergirl ends the 3 episode run with a Supergirl episode on Tuesday. So,
all right, okay, all right. So next up, ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. Next up is Black Lightning. Season 2, Episode 8, The Book of Rebellion, Chapter 1, Exodus. Jennifer and Khalil found out that running away together was not so easy. The Pierce family scrambled to try and find Jennifer and Khalil before Tobias' wail. Last minute reveal, Tobias figured out that Jennifer may have a connection to Black Lightning.
Yeah, I think Tobias is getting wise.
Yeah, about time.
I know, that actually took longer than maybe it should have. But it didn't make that any less like, oh dear. First of all, Ed, you look like Whoopi Goldberg. Jennifer and Khalil, that's a bad road trip. That's no fun. They didn't have like road snacks. They didn't have music picked out. That's not how you run away from home.
Yeah, you pull into a 7-Eleven real quick. Just like stock up on.
You get the combos. You get the big gulps.
Yeah, exactly.
There are rules.
You know what it's all about. You get those honey mustard pretzels, the Snyder's. Yeah. You get plenty of goodies and snacks and water. Just water. You don't need soda. You don't need the Mountain Dew voltage. You need water.
So I live in an area that doesn't actually have a lot of 7-Elevens.
Oh, okay.
So they're in my state. They're just like north and south of me by hours. So when we get around to 7-Eleven, we always do the slushy Slurpee because we just don't get to like. You get the 7-Eleven. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's off topic.
So what's by you guys? What do you got? Quick Checks? What's the?
I'm trying to think what the big like name brand convenience stores are. Casey's. We got Casey's.
Oh, okay. I mean, do you have like the Sunoco's, the whatever the Speedways, like the gas station?
No.
Oh, wow.
We got 7-Elevens in St. Louis, Chicago, but Central Illinois for some reason is a 7-Eleven free zone.
Oh.
We don't cotton to that around here. We
Okay.
like our numbers even, not odd. I don't know.
Wawas? Any Wawas?
Oh, God, no.
Wow. Okay. All right. Because you're usually connected to gas stations. Do you have a lot of like highway rest stops? Because that's like the other. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's your that's like the thing. You stop off for the first rest stop. You just fill up on junk food.
Yeah. That's life. That's life around here.
So yeah, but Jennifer and Khalil are doing something very different. they're yeah.
Well, and they didn't even make it out of town. They basically went to Khalil's aunt's house. Who, by the way, did the aunt survive this episode?
I'm gonna say she did. Lynn's a doctor.
I'm not sure about that. I'm worried about the aunt.
Yeah, I mean, Lynn's a doctor, right? You know, they could have. They were on the scene. They would have. I don't know. But yeah, that was fun. And you're also forgetting they stopped instead of going to 7-Eleven and getting junk food and water. They stopped for guns and money. And that's.
I mean, to be fair, that does make for an interesting road trip as well.
Yes.
And Jennifer was captured using her powers on camera.
Yeah. So yeah, which is what led Tobias to connect 2 and 2. So yeah, and this whole time, Jennifer, Jefferson, and Anissa, trying to scramble to figure out what's going on. And first, do you think it's fair for Jefferson and Lynn to be having second thoughts about how they treated Jennifer during this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do much good now. You kind of have to move forward and, get her home before you do the self-reflection. Does the actress who plays Lynn have some other acting commitment right now? Because I feel like she's not been in these last couple of episodes.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it may just be part of the writing. I mean, the last episode, she was taking care of Anaya, right? She was taking care of, while Jefferson was out trying to find the other baby.
Yeah, she just seems like she's been drinking and grieving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it's just been a different kind of role that she's playing this season. She hasn't been as active. I don't know. I haven't enjoyed her her character arc quite as much, because it just seems like a lot of tears and recriminations.
Yeah, I mean, she's starting to slip into that point where Laurel Lance, that season where she became a full down drunk. It's not that bad yet. But
well, so good news, Lynn. You're going to be the DA soon.
Yeah. So
I thought Jefferson being angry with Anissa with Nissa for not mentioning that Jennifer and Khalil had been talking was interesting. That was I love that family dynamic. Like, you knew and you didn't tell me. Well, no, I don't tell you everything. You know, that was her life, and how did I know? You know, I liked that a lot. I thought that was a very realistic interaction that a family would have even without superpowers when you have situations like this.
Yeah. And also they meet up with Gamby and find out he's alive, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm alive.
My bad.
Yeah. I feel like they could have made a bigger deal about that.
Yes, they could have. Everybody forgave him a little too quickly, I think.
Yeah. And but they did end up getting away. And they do have I didn't really catch the professional's name that they were hired, that Tobias hired to go after them, the bad guy for this episode.
Well, I didn't catch her name, but that we talked about her casting over the summer. That was Kieran Giovanni, who I know from the oldest old person show I've watched regularly, which is Major Crimes on USA.
Okay.
And she was this straight-laced cop who always wore like these really slim-fitting business suits. So this was wild for me because she was in like thigh-high leather boots and the nose ring, and that was just not what I expected from this actress. Yeah. She was fun. I liked her. I enjoyed that fight scene very much at Khalil's aunt's house.
Yes, yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. She called herself Detective Connolly when she answered the door, but I doubt that's her real name.
It would have been funny if that was her real name from Major Crimes. It was not. That would have been funny. But yeah, no, that was good. I feel like Samson, Khalil's strength was in his hair, and cutting that was a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But they got the tracker out. That's important now. And
Jennifer nuked one of Gamby's drones, which I'm also okay with.
Don't like the drones? Not so into the drones? Okay.
Not so into the drones. No.
All right. So, and now if Tobias figures out that Jefferson is Black Lightning, I think that's going to open this season wide open.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is going to be interesting. Man, if it goes public and people find out who he is, what's that going to mean? Lots of questions here. Lots of questions, lots of things to think about. Cool. Was any news for Black Lightning?
No, nothing that I saw. So no, that's it for Black Lightning.
All right. Last episode of the week, which is Titans. Season 1, Episode 9, Hank and Dawn. While Dawn was on a respirator, Hank sat by her hospital bed and thought back on his past. Growing up, Hank and his brother Don had to deal with a skeevy coach, concussions, and a neighborhood full of sex offenders. Dawn danced ballet and had a hard time convincing her mom not to go back to her abusive dad. Last minute reveal, Dawn woke up from her coma and told Hank he had to find Jason Todd and help Rachel.
I guess I like Hank and Dawn together now.
All right.
I did not see this coming. I did not imagine I'd be watching a rom-com montage on Titans this week. But that's what they gave me. And it worked. I'm on board. Hank and Dawn. Yay.
It is weird because the story had been building up that now we take this sidetrack. And we spend the whole episode with Hawk and Dove and learn about their backstory and where they came from. Do you think this episode would have given better context to their first appearance?
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
And I thought about this. If you had done this episode first, you can't do this episode in episode 2. That would have interrupted the forward momentum of everything.
Mhm.
And I'm not, what am I trying to say here? I don't even know that, do you need this extensive backstory for Hawk and Dove? You know, is this
Probably not.
Is this
Mhm.
does this need to be in Titan's world? You know, was this much time with them necessary? If we had done the kind of flashbacks intercut with the present and then had her fly off the roof, like happened in episode 2, that might have been more effective for me. I don't know. I'm still not quite sure how to effectively balance this. I liked this episode, though. That's the thing. I wasn't annoyed by the interruption of the momentum of the main storyline with Dick and with Corey and with everybody else. I really enjoyed this in a way I totally didn't expect to. They did a nice job. Like in the beginning, when we see Hank and male Dawn getting ready to go after that guy who was, I was like, wait, did they just assault somebody who's out awaiting trial? Like, he's actually working in the justice system. Why are they doing that? And then they contextualized it. Then I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So they did a nice job of making you understand. And then when the thing happens with Dawn and Marina Sirtis, I was like, oh God, no wonder their relationship's so bad. It was built on something terrible. But then no, they built it brick by brick. They didn't rush into a relationship. They took their time, and you saw it evolve. It defied every time I wanted to be like, oh yeah, okay, sure. They took a different turn, and they built the characters, and they built the worlds, and I liked this way more than I expected to.
Yes. Yeah. And it was funny. The actress who plays Dawn Granger, I did see flashes that she was mentioning online that there had been talk of a Hawk and Dove spinoff, and you could see this is definitely kind of a backdoor pilot for that.
In some ways, I would rather they had just done a Hawk and Dove show and let the Titans stay center stage, because this is 2 of the 10 episodes that have been pretty much devoted to them. It would have been cool to see Dick come to Dawn in season 2 of Titans, and you kind of bring those 2 worlds together. That's probably how I would have constructed these properties if it were me.
The problem is you can't do a Hawk and Dove show without having them on Titans first. Like the property probably isn't strong enough to draw in that many viewers.
Okay.
That's my reasoning for it.
And is it a sustainable long-term show?
I don't know.
The 2 of them?
I don't know. Part of the thing that I really liked about them the first time we saw them is that they had been around a while, and you could tell that they were kind of reaching that breaking point where it's like you're not sure, like, ooh, like Hank looks like he could fall apart at any moment, and Dawn is just trying to keep him moving, trying to get forward, get to the point where they can retire. So I don't know, but I thought the backstory for Hank was really interesting. It gave context to that character. The fact that they included Don, because that's an important part of his backstory in the comics.
By the way, you mean Don D-O-N and not
Don
D-A-W-N? Okay.
Don Hall. Donald Hall. Let's put it that way. Donald. Yeah. That they included him, I think, because that's an important part of his backstory in the comics. I thought that was well done. I think that their understanding of the sex offender registry, I think that could use a little work, because there's because I know that's not all it's cracked up to be, and a lot of people are on there for minor offenses, and there's a lot of controversy around that registry. So
there are a lot of ways that you can end up on that if you like pee in the wrong place in an alley, and I'm not to defend sex offenders, but that is not a perfect system. and it can make rehabilitation. And anyway,
Yeah.
there's definitely there are great reasons for it, but as with anything in the criminal justice system, you can debate merits and uses and applications. Anyway, can I just say that was some sexy vigilantism there at the end? I don't know if that's the right word, but I was like, whoa, I'm into this in a way I didn't expect. Huh. Yeah, beat him up. Beat up that pedophile coach with the beard. Yeah.
And the love scene that followed, I was very confused. That was just very
well, Ed, when a man and a woman love each other very much.
Just like the whole dramatic, I felt like I was watching some weird erotic ballet.
I think you were.
Just we're gonna stand at opposite ends of the room and slowly take turns taking off clothes and not say a single word to each other the entire time, just with these cold dead stares. It's like
romance writer here weighing in. I think that was emotional vulnerability. I think that was all secrets gone, stripping off clothes and laying everything bare. So we know, now Dawn knows Hank's secrets. They know the worst pain either of them has suffered. They just did this together. It was a weird choice, but I do think it was the stripping bare, literally as well as metaphorically. That's my take on it.
All right.
But it was weird. I did think the actual sex part was a little. I expected more from the show, again, because it's not on network TV and they don't have restrictions, and so I thought that was actually a little tamer than I was expecting.
Okay.
So anyway,
yeah, and we got to see Marina Sirtis.
She looked great.
Yeah, and it also like that car crash happened so fast. It's almost like the show's like, okay, we need to get rid of these characters now. And
Jason and I both kind of had looked down or away, or he said something and I glanced over at him, and then when we looked back, everybody was dead. We were like, wait, what just...
Yeah, you had to rewind that.
We actually had to go back. Yeah, we did.
You had to rewind that like 3 times. What? Wait, what?
I guess that's how car crashes happen in the real world.
But that,
I guess it happens so
and
fast.
that overhead shot of it driving them straight into the newsstand, that was hard to watch.
Yes, it was. And yet I watched it twice because I wasn't sure what I saw the first time.
Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. And so what does this mean going forward? Because the only...
Well, and let's talk about Rachel also, and the Rachel visions.
Yeah, she's trying to reach out to them, and in their dreams, I guess they're dreaming about their past, they see Rachel calling out to them, like, from the mirror, from any kind of, like, glossy reflection. And then that's finally what gets Dawn Granger to wake up and tell Hank to go after them. So yeah, I guess they're going to be brought back into the story. Like,
this feels like a lot to juggle in the final episode of the season.
Yeah, well, I think because I think there's still 2 more Titans left before it goes off, right? There's 11 episodes this season.
Are there?
I think they actually filmed 13. I don't know how they're splitting it up. I'm a little confused. Because there is one that's meant to premiere on the 21st.
I was thinking next week was it. Okay, well that makes me feel a little better about them getting through everything. Okay.
So yeah. This was not the penultimate. I would have said penultimate.
Well, you usually do, but
yeah. I probably should have said mid-season finales on the others, but because we're getting the crossover next week, it's just all confusing.
It's a little different. Yeah.
So, all right. Is there any news on Titans?
Not so much.
All right. So then, you want to head to news for other shows?
Yeah, we do not have much this week. I think everybody's settling in for their long winter nap, except Gotham, which premieres very soon, less than a month. Gotham comes back. And so we have promotional photos, we have pictures of the mutants, we have the Penguin, we have looks at some of the characters where they are now. We have a 911 call that just is audio of Jim Gordon calling for help for Gotham and not getting any help. So we are starting to see some ramp up to, hey, remember this show that you like? Come back to us.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
And literally the most important news of the week.
What's that?
Victor Zsasz is coming back. Victor Zsasz is coming back. That's all I needed to know. I'm on board.
Yes. I love him in Barry, but we need him on Gotham. Yeah. It would not be a season of Gotham if Victor Zsasz didn't poke his head in there somewhere. So at least we're gonna get him back for part of it. I'm glad to see that. All right.
So that is Gotham. Let's see. Lucifer has a first look at its upcoming season on Netflix. We still don't have a release date for it, but we did see a shot of Eve and Lucifer. Remember, Eve is going to be played by Inbar Lavi. And Tom Ellis gave an interview where he said that Eve has never forgotten Lucifer, has been in love with him since, the beginning of mankind. And she comes to him in an emotionally vulnerable moment. Not that Lucifer would know or admit to being emotionally vulnerable. A couple of thoughts there. If Lucifer is emotionally vulnerable, does that mean it goes badly with Chloe? And is this show going to give us another love triangle when last season's love triangle kind of sucked?
Okay, couple thoughts here. First off, I can imagine Chloe not wanting to talk to Lucifer for a while after finding out that he's the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a natural reaction. Also, I think part of the reason the love triangle didn't work last time is because it was really kind of ham-fisted. They just kind of threw him in as a character and kind of had Chloe attracted to him sort of like as an afterthought. And I think with this, if you start out with the idea that Eve is into Lucifer and wants to get back together with him, that could work. And Chloe and Chloe's brought back into it slowly. I think that can work much better. I see this as I think this can work much better as a love triangle than last season's did.
Well, and I have said this before, but I am a big fan of Inbar Lavi's work on The Imposters. She's charismatic, she's sexy, she's funny, she's chameleonic. She's kind of everything that Chloe is not. I hate to say it. And so I just worry that she's going to be this overpowering, where Pierce was kind of wooden and cardboardish. Not totally Tom Welling's fault, because his character was written to be sort of opaque. I just worry that she's going to be this overwhelming force of nature that's going to blow Chloe away, and that the show might have a really unbalanced love triangle if she does on Lucifer what I know she can do. I can't wait to see, though. Give us the release date, Netflix. Give us Lucifer.
Yeah.
So worst case, Ed, what if they just drop it unexpectedly like Netflix does sometimes, and we're just going about our week, and all of a sudden there's 10 episodes and we have to be like, oh God, we need to record a podcast. We need to record 10 hours of podcast.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
This is gonna be intense. Yeah. We have a tentative plan sort of for how we're going to handle this, but yeah, it's going to be,
but it would help if they would tell us the date and not just drop it as a surprise.
Yes. Yeah. That way I could tell my mom I'm going to be locked in my room for 48 hours and she won't worry.
She'll still worry. She always worries.
All right. What's up next?
Let's see. Next we have Swamp Thing. Which is going to be coming to the DC universe in 2019. We have some leaked set photos. So these are not official, but they do show the leads, Abby and Adam, in a boat on the Bayou.
Okay.
That is what I have for you.
All right. Yeah, I saw them. It's cool. The ambiance is cool. There's some shots of, of the trees and the sunlight and everything
Yeah,
else.
very, very stylized, like setting sun, kind of stark, dark trees against the pale water. Very cool looking.
Yeah, smoke. There's smoke everywhere. Yeah, fog. It's where's Derek Mears? I want to see Derek Mears in in that costume. Like, come on, man. Let's get to it. I can't wait. But all right. This was nice.
And let's see, finally,
Pennyworth music.
We have a little bit more casting news. Polly Walker has been set to recur as dominatrix Peggy Sykes.
Okay.
So yeah, if for the cross section of DC Comics, television, and Jane Austen fans out there, which is me and maybe our friend Steph, Polly Walker was Jane Fairfax on Sense and Sensibility from 1996 with Emma, or with not Sense and Sensibility, Emma. She was yeah, Emma, thank you, with Gwyneth Paltrow. That's what I know her from. So she's very British, and she's gonna be a dominatrix.
Okay, seems to fit right in with the show.
I guess.
You seem very upset that one of the major female characters in this is a dominatrix.
I feel like the two female characters that have been announced for this show, one is a super bad psychotic villain and the other is a sex worker, which, no shade on psychopaths or sex workers, but I if those are the two female characters in your show, I'm a little frustrated by that.
It was London in the 60s. Women were crazy.
It's not an Austin Powers movie.
What do you want me to tell you, love?
So it's not the kind of female representation I was, the well-rounded, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine.
She's a strong woman.
Cool, blimey, Gov. Sorry.
All right. And that's all the news, right?
Yes.
All right. So then now it's time for our winners of the week. You want to go first, or should I?
I can go first. I actually have a theme winner of the week in a way that I don't always, but that is chances to reevaluate relationships.
Okay.
Won the week for me. So you've got Oliver and Felicity, now that Oliver's out of prison, kind of grappling with who they are now in a way that is kind of negative, but it does give us a chance to reevaluate. On Titans, we got a whole new look at Hank and Dawn, a whole new appreciation of how they came to be together and why they stick together. I think finding out about Constantine's relationship that he had with Des helps us understand Constantine in a new way and how he responds to that. Jennifer and Khalil, go on the run, and it's a lot harder than they think, and that kind of forces them to they're still sticking together. I think that's great. And then even the little Barry and Iris scene in the hallway in the Flash, where we got to see just a hidden private moment that we hadn't seen before with them, just it adds nuance and different colors and shades to all of these sort of either core relationships or relationships that we are finding out about now, but that shade new light on characters we already know and love. I just thought that was all really well handled this week. Reevaluating the relationship, winner of the week.
Yeah, I had a similar, also a theme, which was big shocks. I mean, this is kind of finale week, so we had the, you had all the big cliffhangers and everything sitting up for the winter break. So Kara was told by the president that she had to disclose her identity. On Arrow, we found out that the new Green Arrow is Oliver's sister. On Legends, Constantine changed the timeline and Zari turned into a cat. On The Flash, we found out that Nora's been working with the Reverse Flat with Eobard Thawne. On Black Lightning, Tobias came to the conclusion that Jennifer might be related in some way to Black Lightning. And on Titans, I think that car crash was pretty shocking.
Shocking.
So yeah. Those giant revelations were all abound this week.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, next week we've got the crossover coming up, so that's going to be a big deal. We're going to be, all excited. Can't wait for everyone to check that out. And yeah. So, that's going to be the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
I'm at Sara Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show in your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam!
Shazam!